We talked about moral guardians all the time on this channel, but I didn't expect to have an Indonesian one here. This person saw panels from the Junji Ito short story collection called Fragments of Horror that I have to censor because of YouTube. I have his other short story collection. It's technically called Venus in the Blind Spot, but it's just titled Best of the Best, which does have plenty of short horror stories from the legend himself. Point is, this manga is for adults, as wonderfully illustrated by the description on the bottom right. It's Indonesian for adult. This person didn't get the memo, I guess. How could a book like this pass the bookstore selection? Because it's a horror manga made by one of the pioneers of Japanese horror mangas. It says the genre is horror, but in my opinion, it is more sadistic. First off, your opinion, and second, you clearly have not read or watched a lot of horror media. Is a book like this educational? In a lot of ways, yes, it can be educational in terms of how to draw horror manga, how to draw gore, how to write scary stories, how to create disturbing imagery, plenty of stuff you can learn from reading these. There are lots of educational values in all media. Unfortunately, a lot of Indonesians, especially the moral guardians, have this mindset that every piece of media needs to have an educational value. And by that, I mean literally hammering the moral message in your face. I thought that the international crowd wouldn't have the same mindset. After years of making content for this channel, boy was I wrong. The only thing there is children being taught how to kill, sever the neck, and sew up bodies of their parents. Crazy! No, the manga does not educate you on that. It shows you people that go through all that, but it does not educate you on that because you didn't read it, and you're morally outraged about something that existed for decades. Do you know that the ones who buy them are children? Because children will definitely buy Fragments of Horror by Junji Ito, right? Because only children buy books, right? I wish I could live in an alternative universe where there are more children buying books and that they can read them properly. You know what makes me feel better? Looking at people on the internet and realizing that there are people way dumber than me. Am I the only one who wishes ReZero was originally a manga, not a light novel? Why would you want that? Because you can't read? Apparently, yes. But how do you all read it? Like no pictures on each page. Sorry, but is this written by a freaking toddler? If you read the pages, you can imagine what's going on with it. Just read it and imagine. It's not that hard. Light novels even have illustrations sometimes, including ReZero. I'm not really good with imagination. I have no idea how you're able to survive as a human being. My biggest condolences. You go try to read while I'm reading another chapter of Fate Zero. Sometimes you see people online that literally say that they can't read and think that these people are somehow the ones that have the right to have an opinion. This meme illustrates that when a minor has an opinion, a lot of people easily dismiss them because they are a minor. Yes, minors should not be in social media making opinions of things that they have zero understanding with. The opinion that the minor said is, I think liking bad things is bad. This is precisely the reason why the minor should not be in social media. What bad thing? Why is liking the bad thing bad? Any examples of the bad thing? Or are you just gonna simplify and generalize your point so that it makes it look agreeable to everyone that took a glance at it? My opinion is that pedophilia was bad. Is it really that? Or is it about fictional characters again? It was instantly dismissed and shunned because I'm a minor. No, it was instantly dismissed because you're talking about fictional characters and you're a minor. A grown woman glorifying the abuse of a little boy? Do better. Because we should only like good things in fiction, right? We should not like bad things in fiction, because that's just bad. It doesn't really matter if it's drawings. Yes, it does. The drawings are of fictional characters and they are not real. It's still the concept of essay on a minor. So is NTHT. It's fiction, bro. You might as well trash the whole Evangelion anime for abusing minors in more ways than what you just said. Nothing you all say will make it not look weird to normal people. There's a difference between looking weird to normal people and looking like a criminal to normal people. You say that glorifying incest is bad. Yes, in real life, not in fiction. Suddenly, Twitter users call you a Puritan fascist minor. Because you are. How dare we enjoy fiction that explores topics that people don't like? Maybe just don't engage with it. Bye. Oh, by the way, did you know that Australia wants to ban minors online? Sounds great on paper until you realize that you have to give the Australian government your ID to access the internet. Boo. It's not just that minors are not safe on the internet, it's that they say all sorts of dumb stuff on the internet that they will definitely regret in their adult life, but it definitely won't stop them from doing that. I have no idea where all these people come from. The Godzilla -1 director, Takashi Yamazaki, said that he makes films to entertain people, not to be artistic. He wanted to make people who give him money happy, so he makes movies that people can enjoy, even elderly country people. He has no desire to make films that are like, "This is my art." There's nothing controversial about that statement whatsoever. And yet, somehow, the lunatics at Twitter X find ways to make this sound horrible. He's just a fascist! I have no idea where you got that impression from. Anyone who thinks like this should die! Oh no, how dare he make movies for entertainment? Aside from Godzilla -1, Yamazaki also directed the two-parter live-action Parasite, which I haven't seen, but the Maxim anime is one of my favorites. He also directed Stand By Me, Doraemon 1 and 2, Lupin III the First, and Dragon Quest Your Story. I'm glad that his lineup is mostly good. This person thinks that his opinion is to sweep imperialist regime under the rug. I don't know if you watched -1, but it's not that pro-war or, for that matter, pro-Japan. It's more like pro-Japanese people than the government. This is why -1 could not even come close to Shin Godzilla. They're both really good, actually, except -1 focuses on normal, everyday people dealing with Godzilla, while Shin Godzilla focuses on the government dealing with Godzilla. Both approaches are perfectly valid. I don't see why one should be compared to the other. I feel bad for artists who say this kind of thing. Why? It's what he wanted. You should be proud enough of the stuff you made to call it art. That's for me to decide, not you. And that's also for him to decide, not you. He's mostly just doing it here to cynically dodge criticism for his fascist politics. What fascist politics does he have? Am I missing something? Apparently, he adapted 2 movies from a far-right author who denies the Nanjing massacre. I have no idea what all that has to do with making art to please people. You people are way too terminally political, and you're way off the freaking rockers, man. Speaking of being political, this ad was quite the conversation last week. The famous car brand Jaguar got into a bit of a controversy after their logo change, which was another installment of modern companies wanting to look more modern. The problem is, their attempt to be more modern looks like this. Yep, it's just showing people who are gender non-conforming. There are tons of people on the ad that are definitely on the LGBT spectrum, which isn't that big of a deal to me, but what is a big deal is the lack of any Jaguars, as in the cars. Where are the cars? The social media team is relentless at responding to people with the most cookie-cutter copy-paste responses you can think of, but these are totally insubstantial. Jaguar boss then defends this non-conforming DEI ad by accusing critics of vile hatred and intolerance. The managing director of Jaguar said that the campaign message has been lost in a blaze of intolerance, adding that car makers must move away from traditional automotive stereotypes. I have no idea what you mean as a traditional automotive stereotype. You can be progressive, gender non-conforming, and still advertise cars. Check out Calvin Harris's music video, Desire. Great 90s and 2000s trans throwback. And there are actual cars racing, drifting, spinning around, and Sam Smith, a non-binary singer, provides the vocals. All it needs is the new Jaguar logo and you're all set. You can be progressive and advertise cars. This is just... I don't know what this is. Okay, we make fun of the woke and the progressives a lot. It's time to shift our gears to make fun of the other side of the spectrum. Andrew Tate. Quite the criminal that I cover here. His website recently got hacked worth of chat logs and 800,000 users. I am still astonished that there are that many people that signed up on his bullcrap, but here we are. I bring this up because there are still many things that continue to astonish me about Andrew Tate, like how his university is named The Real World. Because the actual real world brings a lot more pain and suffering, right? Oh, sorry, my bad. The real world is just the Matrix, and Andrew Tate's website is the true real world. The red pill, if you will. Advanced training and mentoring. Is Andrew Tate actually mentoring people? To do what? To become a freaking criminal? $50 a month? Jeez! I genuinely want to know if that payment is worth it. Apparently, he could have made more than $5.5 million if the calculations were correct. Money making is a skill. We will teach you how to master it. Guys, they're making money with your money. The money that you use to buy their crap products and services. Don't fall for it. The hackers hacked the website, which was hilariously insecure. Jeez, doesn't that just describe Andrew Tate in a nutshell? Hilariously insecure. Perfect description, to be honest. The hackers spammed LGBT-themed emojis in the chat room, especially after many people in the chat complained about the LGBT agenda. Yeah, the world's getting gayer as time goes on. I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon. In fact, I'd say it's more insecure not to accept that, don't you think? Speaking of LGBT people and the anti-woke side talking about the LGBT agenda, there's also this really interesting but also really funny hoopla. I am sometimes amazed by how far the anti-woke people would go, or at least hypothetically. The modding community is fixing gaming with this mod. I don't know the interface of this mod, it looks like Monster Hunter, but I don't see anything woke about Monster Hunter, so I'll just assume that this mod is for Dragon Age the Veilguard, because that's the game that desperately need a mod like this. I'll color this purple to match the theme. The mod is called Transphobia Assistance, and it removes the presence of woke trans ideological zealots such as pronouns, top surgery scars, virtue signaling, cringe dialogue, and modern-day DEI nonsense, which somehow improves gameplay experience. No, it won't improve the gameplay, that's subjective, but let's move on. The mod will also adjust the appearance of all Z, Zim, Zer, they, them, gendermancers, queersexuals, and non-binary characters to look either male or female to accommodate players with transphobia. Accommodate? I'm sorry, why are you treating transphobia like a disability? I find that absolutely hilarious. This mod is basically saying, hey, if you hate trans people or modern woke nonsense, you are a disabled person and should be accommodated properly. If that's intentional, I applaud whoever made it for sneaking that point in. But if it's not intentional, well, that's just a big L on the anti-woke side because you just treated being anti-woke and anti-trans people like a disability and not, say, an opinion. But hey, we have to be progressive in the current year, right? We have to accommodate all disabilities, including bigotry. But putting all the bigotry aside and going back to gaming, this hypothetical joke of a mod is not practical in the real world at all. If you apply this mod in something like Dragon Age the Veilguard and you remove every cringe dialogue, you might as well mute the dialogues and skip the cutscenes because all the dialogues are cringe. This hypothetical mod is like sprinkling salt on the top of crap. It's not gonna make it taste any better. I say just consume something else that is not crap and don't even bother put the effort modding it. There was that modding team that wanted to mod Starfield to have multiplayer, but the game is way too boring for them to continue, so they just gave up. Take notes, modders. If the original game is beyond saving, you might as well not try. Well, that was hilarious. This next one is also gonna involve anti-woke people, but first, let's talk about video games. Rockstar has been surprisingly killing it lately. They released Red Dead Redemption 1 after a decade and a half of waiting, and the port is absolutely top tier. I sailed the seas for that because Rockstar's pricing on this old-ass game at $50 is absolute nonsense. I also sailed the seas for their patch on GTA Trilogy The Definitive Edition, which was a huge blunder all around at time of release, but thankfully Rockstar rectified that blunder with a patch that significantly improved everything. I verified that they did fix a bunch of stuff since release, and the quality of life improvements compared to the original PC releases are definitely welcome. I bring this up because this person has issues with the upcoming GTA 6 development team at Rockstar because they are mostly populated by women. Okay, why do you facepalm? I don't get it. Is this a bad thing? Are games being developed by women automatically mean that it's gonna be bad? It turns out that this tweet is misleading because the picture from the tweet was to celebrate International Women's Day back in 2019. And these are the developers of the critically acclaimed Red Dead Redemption 2, which was one of my favorite games of that year, and I also think it's one of the greatest games of the decade. If women are responsible for games like Red Dead Redemption 2, then women should develop more games. Also, 39% of Rockstar employees are women, and 61% of them are men, which still makes it a majority male company. As far as diversity is concerned, it's not bad. And considering that Rockstar's last major title is Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm not really that concerned. What I am concerned about is GTA 6 being a console exclusive at release, but probably for about a year or two. We'll see about that. Either way, I still won't buy a PS5 for it. And finally, here's a classic hoopla about the value of women. This conversation is as old as time. I hate how men value my body count. Yes, because your body count shows how willing you are in opening your privates to other people. It makes you seem cheap. But don't worry, ladies, there's still many men out there that like that. It's just that they are probably just as cheap as you. So you're gonna have to take the consequences. I'm 23 and I've had sex with 36 men. Lady, what is wrong with you? Why would you have sex with 36 men and expect to have a long-term relationship with one? I know it's more than average, but it's my life. I wanted to have all the fun I can. Yeah, that fun has a lot of consequences. Sorry, that is a permanent mark that you leave for the rest of your life. Or you can just lie. I guess I'll be a hoe in a man's eyes. Yeah, that's just the reality. Sorry. Stop DMing for a date. I'm not interested. Hey, at least you find a man that might want you. Don't give up, lady. There are tons of fish in the sea, and they might like someone like you. And that's all for the video today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end, here's a cat. And also huge thanks to all these wonderful sponsors. You are all fantastic. If you want to see your names among these legends, then check out the links below. Just $1 and you've supported this channel a lot. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my ABB Show stream channel, link below. Go subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.